Good afternoon. This is Kim. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of visiting an actual brick and mortar doll shop in Middletown, New York, which is in the Hudson Valley, Orange County, about an hour's drive from New York City, and about a half hour south of me. So this was my first time in a doll shop. And I was overwhelmed because there were so many 18-inch dolls. I guess I call them the American Girl type. I'm not familiar with all the different brands. I did, by the end of this video, learn that those are my twin dolls. And then I filmed them later and explained more about them. The reason I'm doing a voiceover is because there were 4 other customers in the store, and they were all very chatty, and they actually came out louder than my voice. So I'm just entering the store, browsing, trying to find something I recognize. She had all ethnicities represented. Lots of African American dolls, several Asian dolls, Caucasian dolls, and there's a sissy. I was shocked to find a sissy. A little bit of hard plastic, not too much. I didn't find really anything in compo. And I'll explain that in the next video of why. So it's mostly dolls made between 1980, mostly artist dolls, high-end artist dolls, and they go to about 2010, I guess. The woman who owns the shop's name is Michelle. She's very active on Facebook, gives great educational videos, and she's on Facebook as the Wizard of Dollz, with a Z at the end. So I'm just perusing the shelves at this point, and then I come across some more what I thought was hard plastic. I was a little confused. Some of those, they look like actual Tony dolls, and some are, but some are Robert Tonner's F&B reproductions, but they look so real to the original Tony dolls. To me, most reproductions look nothing at all like the original dolls. So I think I stopped here because I probably was talking about hard plastic dolls in general. Okay, then she has no price tags on the dolls. She said a lot of these dolls do not have their boxes, so she'll price them accordingly. So this is like the Barbie section, and she had a lot of Barbies without their boxes, I'm assuming, unless she has the boxes stored somewhere. Yeah, I can see why people still collect Barbies, because some of these outfits are just, still very glamorous and unique. So I'm just showing it for the viewers. I know people are still into Barbies. Okay, so she is the Wizard of Oz. Apparently she loves Dorothy. And that was an actual Virginia Turner Dorothy. That doll, she got a Virginia Turner doll, but she redressed it as Glinda. And she has a whole little section of Wizard of Oz dolls. So I guess that was her specialty, or her what she liked the best. Then those are actually Susan Joaquin pair on the left, next to Alexander Alpine twins on the right. Okay, so now I go back to for some reason back to the Tonys. I think at this point she told me they're actually made by F&B by Robert Tonner, who bought F&B, and that they're actually reproductions. But again, they were very well done. Okay, so she had a few Ginnies, and also the Lesney Ginny, which Lesney bought out Vogue in the early 70s and totally changed the face and put like designer clothes like Sasson on. And I particularly like that doll, even though it's a small doll. I think there's value in designer, dolls that have designer clothes on them. Okay. Okay, so now I'm getting further into the store. Still perusing. I stop at the Cabbage Patch section only because my daughter gave me 6 in the box Cabbage Patch Kids that she had collected. That was her thing. I was able to sell 5 of them already on eBay. I still have the one French Canadian, the bilingual one, still left in the box that I will take out and show you. I noticed these dolls were mostly late 90s, so it's possible that she sold the earlier ones that are really hot right now, the ones made in the early 80s. Okay, now we get to the American Girl. More 18-inch dolls. There may be other dolls mixed in there, like a Dora or a Generation. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not familiar with them. Something tells me I showed you this already. No. They have really nice faces. And some of the outfits are just so cute. I could see why little girls like these dolls. Okay, so this is the older section. That's a Saucy Walker from the 1950s. She was really cute. But if she breaks, she's almost impossible to get back together. Especially if the eyes fall out. So it's an F&B combo and an F&B reproduction. She had a few baby dolls. I wanted the Ideal doll. That was from the 50s. She was in her original dress, but I couldn't afford it at this point in time. And there's a Deity Baby, the rubber doll, made by F&B between the late 30s and up until about 1950 in rubber. Okay, that's the Susan Joaquin 8-inch dolls. Lots of ethnic dolls dressed in folk costumes, which I like. And those are the Alexander Alpine twins from the Christmas shop, a store exclusive. ugh, I want to say it was circa 1990. Shirley Temples. Vinyl mostly. The one with the button, I'm not sure. That could be a porcelain reproduction. Shirley Temple never came in hard plastic. Just compo. And then reissued by Ideal in the 50s in vinyl. So it turns out everything in here is one person's collection. And the most popular, hottest selling items are the My Twin dolls. And apparently they had 40 different molds, and they're very desirable. Okay, so a woman had 10,000 dolls, and her family didn't want the dolls, so this is only part of what she has. The woman says she still has tons of dolls in storage, tons of dolls in her own home. It's amazing. But I kind of understand it. You know, if I had the money, and it's like an addiction. There's a fine line between collecting and addiction. So it's just amazing that she collected such a, and for an elderly woman collecting such a wide variety of dolls.
Colorado's finest. I have a funny story about this. Debbie was telling me last night. I was laughing so hard at 11 o'clock.
And that's Michelle. She is the doll shop owner, and she's been so informative.
My assistant Judy.
And assistant Judy, and she sells on eBay. And she's very busy here at the shop because she's also in her back room restringing and restoring. But and there's no sales tax, which I almost died because the husband already paid, you know, inheritance tax. She does not have to charge you sales tax. So instead of buying on eBay, you can, you know, check out this shop called the Wizard of Dollz. She's definitely on Facebook. And I've had such a pleasant time seeing the dolls here. So I will walk you out. Just amazing. Just amazing. And right next door is the first school site in Middletown, New York. Built here in 1790. Used as a public school in the early 1800s. Amazing, this part of Middletown. I'm not really familiar with it. Even though I only live a half hour